Hello, it's Yoli again from Bling on the Crafts, and I am going to attempt to draw an implied piece of art, I guess you'd call it. But I've got a silver, I don't have white, and this is just a black matte board. It says it's crescent. But it's a 6x8 matte board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw with a silver pencil and try to draw my art and then go over it with puff paint. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and attempt to draw this. It's a woman, the back of a woman, and you know, she can be, I can give her a formal gown, or I think I'm going to give her a backless gown. So I'll be accentuating her shoulders and her head, and then of course her dress. I'm not going to make it very big because I don't know if this needs to be trimmed to fit in a frame, so I want to be sure and make it to where it can fit like either a 4x6 or a 5x7. Let's see, I've got... yeah, it's a 6x9 actually, 6x9. So that means it could fit in a 5x7. So a 5x7 would be, okay, 2 inches and 1 inch. Okay, so I have a 2-inch allowance at the top and bottom, and 1/2 inch allowance on side by side. But I'm not going to make it that big, so I'm going to just cover the middle of it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with her hair. And I think I'm just going to make, I'm just going to do very light strokes. And I think I'm just going to give her like a little bun in her hair, because this is the back. The back. So this is the back of her head. And I'm going to go back over this with puff paint, so I don't want to get it, you know, too much of lines here. But, and then she's going to have a little earring right there, but I'm not going to put that on there right now. See her neck. Get her neck and her shoulder. And her arm. So let me show you what, if you can see that. Her head, her bun, and her arm and her neck. And then I'm going to do I'm going to do her other part of her neck, which going to make her skinny neck, and her shoulder will come down because this is also her back. So her right arm is not showing, but her left arm is. So I'm going to give her a skinny waist. And then I'm going to go back and do this arm. I think maybe her. Now I do have some eraser here. I wonder which one would work best. This one works pretty good. Yeah, I don't want too much eraser on there because it does dull the... There we go. So here you have her waist. But you can see her waist. See how it erases? It makes it a little dull. I may have to do something about that. Okay, and then her dress, we're going to be it's going to be kind of like a ball gown. And then this side will be and then I'm going to make her a backless dress, so it's going to be like this. So there's her backless dress. See how that eraser did that? Because this is mat board, you're not supposed to draw on it, but I do it anyway. Maybe I can fix that later. I'm wondering if this would help. This little magic eraser. Not really. Okay, so really now the dress just kind of takes its own form in fullness here. You just draw the lines. So really, and she has no feet. It's just an implied image of a woman at a formal affair. And her dress is, you know, it's going to have fullness in some areas, and in other areas she won't have too much. So anyway, here you have it. I'm going to do it just a little bit darker so you can see the silver pencil. And then her arm, her left arm over here is going to have just an implied line of her arm coming up. So she doesn't have a right arm, just a left arm. And her shoulder. Her shoulder and her head. Be sure to make her head big enough. I don't want her too small headed, you know. But you don't have to put an earring on her. Do some kind of earring there. Oh, there she is. There she is in all her glory. And then I'll go over it with puff paint. I think I'm going to use white. So it'll be white puff paint on this black matte board. And hopefully you won't notice this. Maybe if I could rub it or something and get it out. Go away. So I'll come back in just a few minutes, or I could go ahead and do the puff paint. Why not? Oh, I don't have it in front of me. I'll have to, well, let me just reach for it. Just excuse me while I reach for it. Get it out of my drawer here. Okay. It wasn't too far. So I'll go ahead and do the puff paint, and get me a napkin here, to paper towel, and move all this away. I'm hoping I can finish this. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the head, and we're just going to follow it and try to keep the stream low and thin. And the little bun in her hair doesn't have to be perfect, but and we'll go ahead and just going to be an implied impression. So we'll go down her neck here, This white really comes out fat, or thick, I should say. If you're not careful. But it is what it is. So you have to remember what medium you're using here. You see her taking shape now. And then you just do the skirt. And you just keep doing the lines until you can then you can go back and feather these. You have to kind of get used to using the puff paint because, I mean, you have to know how much, you know, to expect it, the flow. You have to get used to it so that you can manage to control it, you know. And if it's not controllable, then you have to come up with an alternate way of using it. And you know, it can really be a great tool once you get used to it and you enjoy it. It makes it even better. So you can go in and fill in. Sometimes you don't even have to squirt any of it. You just let it come out, and if you smear any of it, you just go back and make the more lines. You just have to know when to do that. So I'm going to give her a little more fullness on this side. And see, you just control it with the tip. You don't let it come out. You just control it with the tip. And there's her dress. Look how good that turned out. I'm happy with it. And see, I don't have hardly anything coming out of the tube. I just have. So I'm going to let it dry. There she is. The white lady. The white lady. And you don't have to, I mean, you could just leave the implied fullness of the dress. You don't have to, you know, figure in anything. And here, I can go back and kind of thin out those lines if I have to, but with my X-Acto knife, that's what I do with my X-Acto knife. I take it and I use the regular, was that 45-degree angle X-Acto knife, and I go in and I just kind of take out from the middle, very gently take away the paint from the line that's there. So I just take a little bit out at a time with the tip. You see there's just a little bit of paint on there. And you take a little bit away, so that way it doesn't appear so thick. You have to have a steady hand, because if you get out of the line, you've got yourself a mess. So you just have to kind of decide what you want to do with it. But her bun did come out awful thick. I did not intend to have that happen, but that's the way it turned out. Maybe on the next one I can do it a little bit thinner. There she is. Now let her dry, and she will be for sale. She will be for sale. It's just a woman in a dress. It's real pretty. So for those people that like black and white art, or people that collect ballerinas, or, you know, dance photos or art, this would be a nice little collection, additional piece for their collection. So anyway, there it is, my little white puff paint lady. There she is, if you can see the dimension of the paint. I don't know if you can see the dimension of the paint there. But anyway, that's puff paint. And that's my lady with her back to us on a black mat board. Thank you for watching, and I will talk at you later. Bye.